What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming packages, the physical infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, as well as what is going on in the world today. And well, first to start off is Rudy Giuliani is under fire, possibly could be indicted, and is being investigated by the FBI. In addition to that, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani and Trump's lawyer, he's also being sued for $1.3 billion by the Dominion voting company, one of the companies who handles the voting systems from the elections. And now they're suing him for $1.3 billion over a defamation lawsuits against Rudy Giuliani over election conspiracy theories. In addition to this, his apartment just got raided in the last week, and they seized several different computer items and electronic items. And the feds have also introduced a new probe pushing to get against Rudy Giuliani, possibly pushing to get a visa for a shady Ukrainian prosecutor in the past. Former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen says that current Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani will not get 2 cents from former President Donald Trump for his legal services. Here is Michael Cohen, former President Donald Trump's former lawyer.
I mean, he's just dopey.
Are you surprised? Rudy Giuliani used to be a federal prosecutor. Used to be mayor of New York, one of the biggest cities in the world. Are you surprised that he took the Trump job after having publicly, well, at least from what we heard, wanting like $20,000 a week, not getting it, and basically did all of that he did on what? On contingency? Are you surprised that he didn't try to get paid up front? Didn't he know?
Okay, so Joy, I hate to correct you, but it was $20,000 a day. Right?
A day.
And he actually thought he thought Donald Trump was going to pay him $140,000 a day. He has a better chance of shooting himself to the moon. I mean, it's impossible. Donald Trump wouldn't pay him 2 cents because his feeling is it is an honor and a privilege to go to prison for him, to do his dirty work. And as long as Rudy kept, patting the backside of Donald and, kissing the ring, so I like to say something else, but kissing the ring of Donald Trump, then he was well within the orbit. So what did dopey Rudy do? He went around the world selling the service of America to foreign organizations and countries. That's how he was going to make his money. He was using Donald, and Donald was using him. So Donald never had the thought in his mind that he was ever going to pay Rudy.
Former President Donald Trump's lawyer there, Michael Cohen, saying that, first of all, Rudy Giuliani is not going to get paid a cent for his lawyer work that he did for former President Donald Trump. He also says that Trump will turn on him in a heartbeat as they're basically trying to send Rudy Giuliani to prison over several different charges, and the FBI is looking into that right now. I have a feeling this is a story that's going to play out as there has already been several people around Trump's circle that have gone to prison in various different circumstances. And the real question is are they gearing up to also try to do the same thing to Trump in the near future? As the conspiracy theories for this this set of incidences, I'll say, are proven to be true. And honestly, there's no lack of what could happen in this circumstance, because honestly, anything could happen, I think, when it comes to Trump and Giuliani. And former President Donald Trump is already involved in multiple different lawsuits for actually a variety of reasons. And it's safe to say that his lawyers are going to be very, very busy. And it's probably safe to say that Rudy Giuliani will not be one of his lawyers going forward in the future, as Rudy Giuliani is just trying to get paid at this point, but he's also being indicted, or not indicted yet, but being investigated by the FBI and involved in a $1.3 billion lawsuit. It's absolute chaos over there. And let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. The next big controversy that has really been heating up literally just over the last 24 hours is at least 3 states already that are saying that they're going to get rid of their unemployment bonus money and not pay it to their residents, even though the federal government pays for the money. We now have Montana, South Carolina, and Arkansas, all Republican governors that are withdrawing from the federal unemployment boost programs as well as the extension programs that gives additional weeks of unemployment extensions to people from their states that have been unemployed. And I think we're going to continue to see this happen. Montana's given a $1,200 per one-time unemployment boost if you go back to work and after being on unemployment and then go to work for 4 weeks. Other states are not offering anything yet. They're basically just going to say that there's no unemployment money at all if you're past the normal amount of weeks that the state's allowed, getting rid of that extended period of time. It's different for each state, as well as getting the $300 per week bonus. And other Republican governors are expected to follow in the near future. So I don't think any Democratic governors will be doing this. Republicans are taking a harder stance, basically saying, go back to work, and that's that. Go back to work, find a job, and if you can't find a job that's equivalent to what you had before, well, then you're just going to have to find whatever's available. So let me know your thoughts on this. It's a harsh stance. I understand why they're doing it. They want to get people back to work. They want to get people off unemployment. There is some people for sure, no doubts about it. Again, just looking at this from a real point of view, that I've even seen some of your comments saying if unemployment's going to pay you as much as your job, there's really no reason to go back to work if unemployment's going to give you the same amount or more, or even somewhere in the capacity of what your job was going to pay. But the problem is that anybody who's making 50 or 75,000 a year, and the jobs that are available are half as much, are really going to struggle with this, as they're basically going to be forced to go back to work. So we're going to see kind of an epic battle come out over here the next few days of kind of Republican governors versus their people on unemployment. Some people are going to be forced to go back to work and find whatever they can be available, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, this comes as there's several buckets of money, I'll say, from unemployment that is actually being paid back out to you. In fact, a new one that literally just came out here in the last few days: states must refund some unemployment payments they took back. And where this applies is there's been a number of states, possibly even all 50 states, that gave unemployment money to the people and then basically said, oh, we had an error, or maybe you made an error on your weekly unemployment claims. And then all of a sudden they said, you owe us all the money back, and you need to give it back to us now, and you owe penalties. As you can see here, in a memo released yesterday, the U.S. Labor Department states that workers who were asked to repay unemployment benefits received through the CARES Act might be able to get a refund, although it could take a year before you see the money. So if the states forced you or asked you to repay this money back to them and they were wrong, they're now going to have to pay it back to you again. So basically, they paid you the money, then the states forced you or asked you to pay it back for whatever reason. If they were wrong, you had to pay it back so you didn't get in trouble, or who knows what would have happened. Now the states are being asked to pay it back to you again, and their error was not correct. They shouldn't have done that in the first place. So if this applies to you, then my honest advice is to you is to look into this and become an expert on this subject. There's a lot of information and if cans and what ifs, and oh, but this circumstance is better, different than this circumstance. Go to Google, start looking into it, spend a few hours of your time at the bare minimum, and become an expert on this subject so you know exactly what to do and if the states owe it back to you and how to collect it. Because honestly, it would probably take me a long time to even explain it to you. And it's a few amount of our viewers, I mean, not a lot, but I like to help everybody out on this channel. That's why we cover all these different stimulus topics, because if it pertains to you and your family, it just might mean thousands of dollars in your pocket. So look into it and become an expert in this area so that you don't, A, get in trouble, and B, know if the states owe you money back. Next up, President Biden wants to, for the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, which has about 15 different stimulus items in that package, as well as the Physical Jobs Plan, the American Jobs Plan, and the stimulus package, the American Families Plan. President Biden wants to raise taxes to help pay for some of these items, which is different than the third stimulus check package, which nobody paid for. There were no tax raises. And if we go back to the 5 packages passed underneath former President Donald Trump, 2 of which had stimulus checks, the other ones didn't have checks, but they had money for vaccines and paycheck protection program money and different items. Nobody paid for those 6. The taxes were not raised. They didn't bring in money for them. If any, they just went to the national debt. The U.S. already runs a national deficit almost every single year, 99% of years to begin with, before they pass stimulus packages. However, economists say that stimulus packages are really needed in a time of pandemic. If not, you'd be dealing with 1929 and the Great Depression again. And these stimulus is kind of like a life preserver for A, Americans, and B, for the economy. And that's why former President Donald Trump and the Republicans who controlled the Senate and the presidency worked with the Democrats who only controlled the House to pass 5 packages in less than a year last year. And now President Biden has passed 1, all on the Democratic side, and looking to pass 2 more. However, President Biden wants to raise some taxes in a couple different areas. He wanted to do this before he even became president. It's not necessarily because of these stimulus packages. He campaigned on raising taxes. It's just part of his agenda. Here's what President Biden has to say on this matter.
Together with the American Rescue Plan, the American Jobs Plan is going to help the economy create, as I said, estimated over 16 million good-paying jobs. And folks, we can't afford to not do it. We can't afford to not spend the time and effort and money. Let me explain how we pay for this, because I'm not a deficit spender. Because, we had a tax cut the other team put in back in 2017, and it created a $2 trillion deficit, with the vast majority of that going to the top 1/10 of 1% of the wage earners. I don't want to punish anybody. You're entitled to be a millionaire or a billionaire. Just pay your fair share. Just pay. For example, if we just were to make sure that we had the tax rate for the top rate in America for income tax, what it was in the Bush administration, it would go from 36 to 39.6%. Well, guess what? That would raise a minimum of $10 billion a year. No one's hurt. Someone making that money is still going to have 2 homes or a jet plane, or these are mostly millionaires. They're not going to be hurt a little bit. But we're going to be able to put tens of thousands of kids in preschool and in free community college. What's going to help America more? Increase the educational standard of all Americans so they have 14 years of school, from 2 years of 3 and 5 year olds, 3, 4, and 5 years old. We show that happens if they not go to daycare, they go to school. No matter what the background of the home they come from, they catch up. 58% will go on to go to college. We know that now. We also know that if you give 2 years of free community college, you're in a situation where you're in a position that you have in your state and every other state in America. You'll allow to go the last 2 years. All those credits are available to your state universities, and you get a 4-year degree for half the cost. And/or you get the 2-year degree, and you're able to do what you needed to do. It's estimated to increase the average income by over 20% for someone in America for the rest of their lives. So, folks, the fact is that I'm not looking to punish anyone. I come from the corporate state of the world, Delaware. More corporations are incorporated in the state of Delaware than every other state in the union combined. But guess what? I'm sick and tired of corporate America not paying their fair share. Their taxes used to be 38%, 36%. We all thought that was too high, even in our administration. And we wanted to reduce it to 28%, make it more competitive. Some thought 24%, but it got reduced to 21%. And you know what the result is? Of the largest corporation in America, 50 don't pay a penny in tax. It made $40 billion. Don't pay a penny in tax. If you're a construction worker and your wife's a school teacher, you're paying at a higher tax rate than corporate America's paying. Not a joke. Not a joke.
And yeah, 2 years of free college and 2 years of free preschool are two of the about 15 different stimulus items that are proposed to possibly be in this next stimulus package. Of course, we know the Democrats are likely going to pass this package completely on their own, so they can add anything they want in there. That's exactly what happened with the third stimulus check. The Democrats passed that completely on their own. Not a single Republican voted yes on that, and the Democrats passed it anyway. They included the $1,400 checks. Now we have Democrats pushing for monthly stimulus checks of $1,000 per month to $2,000 per month. I think that's the best case scenario for the fourth stimulus check. The worst case scenario will probably be a single stimulus check of $1,400 to $2,000. We have more and more support from the Democrats every single day for that. We also have the child tax credits, which are turning into monthly stimulus checks, and the IRS is going to start paying those out in July at $250 to $300 per month per child. They're likely to extend that to all the way to the year 2025 or more in this next package as well, which would mean monthly stimulus checks would continue on for children and the parent who claims them as a dependent in this next package. They're also looking to increase Medicare and increase Social Security. There's two different bill proposals on Social Security, one for $200 per month raise, another one for a $279 per month raise for Social Security SSI programs that could also end up including SSDI, as well as Medicare increases to increase Medicare. This is largely being led by Senator Bernie Sanders to include free hearing, dental, and vision coverage, as well as lower the eligibility age on Medicare from to as 60 or age 55 even. And these are a couple of the things that they're proposing. In fact, there's actually several different ways that they can shore up money to help pay for this. Remember, they don't have to pay for these programs. They can literally just do what they did with the last 6 stimulus packages and just pass them, and nobody pays for them. They just go on the national deficit, which basically means that nobody will ever pay for it because the government does not make enough money to pay for that $30 trillion that's there. In fact, they add to it every year, even without stimulus packages. So it is what it is. But they can pass these packages without tax raises, or they can pass it with tax raises. But there's multiple different ways they can get money without tax raises. One of them being what the IRS calls tax cheats, where the IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig says that the government is actually owed about $1 trillion per year, every single year, that they don't end up collecting. And the IRS commissioner actually says that Bitcoin is part of the problem, or cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin or Bitcoin or any of the cryptocurrencies, is that when you buy it and sell it, if you make a profit, you're supposed to, based on the tax law, pay gains on that based on it's a capital gain or even a short-term gain, which is less than a year. If you make any gains on it, it's actually counted as ordinary income. Well, the IRS says that from cryptocurrencies and really all the other people that don't pay the tax that they're supposed to, or the IRS doesn't get around to collecting it, the government is actually owed $1 trillion per year every single year. That's one way that they can get basically a lot of money without raising taxes. There's another one. Senator Bernie Sanders actually has several ideas here. One is forcing pharmaceutical companies to just give the U.S. The same prices that the other countries pay for prescription drugs, and like insulin and inhalers and stuff. It's sold to other countries across the world for much, much lower prices than the U.S. government pays and Americans pay. And these pharmaceutical companies are just gouging the American people, and they're allowed to get away with it. They can pass law to force these companies to give it to us at the same price they give it to any other country. Bernie Sanders says that this would save the U.S. government alone $450 billion per year. And when you add that with the $1 trillion from the IRS that's owed, you're looking at about $1.5 trillion every single year that they can get simply without raising taxes. There's also several other proposals. There's an ultra wealthy tax proposed by Elizabeth Warren, but that is a tax. There's another one that is kind of a sales tax proposal on any stocks sold on Wall Street. So anytime somebody in the United States, anybody sells a stock, that they would pay a fraction of a percentage in kind of like a sales tax, and that would actually shore up trillions and trillions of dollars by basically attaching a micro sales tax attached to every single trade in the stock market. All those things they can do basically without raising taxes. The last one's kind of a tax raise. It's kind of a sales tax. When you sell a stock, you would pay a fraction of a tax. But it'll be interesting to see what happens and what ends up gets included in this next stimulus package. I'll keep you up to date with all these stimulus items as well as the hot news of what's going on today with our country. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. Don't miss out on any new episodes. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be with you tomorrow for Mother's Day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m., and we'll have some special guest appearances tomorrow for Mother's Day. Happy early Mother's Day, and I will see you in the morning at 10 a.m. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next if you haven't watched it. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon. Amazon has a program called Amazon FBA where they do all the shipping and selling for you, and I teach people how to do that and replace their 9-to-5 income. Click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.